Live. My name is Matt Perez, and today our guest is Fernanda Guerra, all the way from Brazil. Welcome, Fernanda. We've got a beautiful conversation ahead of us. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you. I'm very, very happy to join you and Matt. So,
Um, just I'm going to give you a 10-second introduction. We've met, what, 3, 4 years ago, originally through the Kim Wright group and learning about the work you've been doing. You've been helping us with Radical in Brazil, but we want to talk specifically about conscious contracts today, which is figuring out how that matches with the work that we've been doing. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about the work you've been doing with the law movements
mhm,
and how that connects to Radical. Let's dig into that in a little bit more.
perfect. Thank you for this invitation. You know that I'm very happy and so this kind of movement that you are part that you and Matt, it's something that really I feel my heart more warm because of this movement like radical. And so you beginning our conversation say that you and Matt meet Kim, and that's the reason that we are together now because Kim told me you need to talking with Jose about conscious contract and the work that you've been doing. So I met Kim 5 years ago here in Brazil, and this has transformed my life and my practice. So I worked as a traditional lawyer during 18 years. And then I realized myself completely sick. And I think it's something about my private life, something that happened outside me. And so in that time, I can realize that my life is based on force, is based on everything that is outside me. So everything that I did, it's because someone expects to me to do. My behavior as a lawyer, the things that I bought, the way that I live my life. And so that's the reason that I was sick. And so when I realized that I really can be died if I continue live my life in this way, uh, I decided to know about myself a little bit more and see and I doing this self-knowledge movement during some times, but always I think law stuff, my practice as a lawyer can fit with this movement that I doing inside of me. And so when I met Kim, everything has changed because I realized all the movement that I did in my private life, I can put everything together. Uh, that's uh, that's I want to start our conversation talking about Kim because it was a turning point in my life when I met her here in Rio, and when she said conscious contract, and I hear this word, two words in separated way, contract, and I feel wow, the law that is inside me understand this. And the other part of me heard the word conscious. And so when she said that she works with these two things together, I'm completely falling in love with that. Uh, and so since then, I decided to transform my practice, and that's the reason that I recognize myself as a regenerate attorney, because I realize that all the time when we're working with a lawyer, someone with a deep um, uh, with a deep pain coming to me to try to cure something, because people doesn't have legal problem, people has a human problem. And when I realized that, everything's changed. So I don't pretend as that to say to my client that I can save him, that I can do something that assume a responsibility for them, but I can put my technique, myself, and a whole way for with him to try to find a solution, find a way to do something better for their life, using or not a legal system.
You know what? I'm listening to you, and I'm taken back to 3 years ago when we first met and we first had the conversation,
Mm-hmm.
around 3 years. And I remember us talking one on one, and you saying, "Can we speak Portuguese because I don't speak English?" And here you are speaking English perfectly,
No,
and it warms my heart to see you do this so well. So thank you for the courage and for continuing to do that, because it's been wonderful to see you and your um, trust in yourself and in your abilities growing, because it's nice to see.
I thank you, Jose. It's that's it. Because talking about that, something that I really, it's a way to put myself where I want to be, but it's a big challenge, uh, always. Uh, but that's it. Sorry, there is something here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
No problem.
Sorry, there is something that someone talking in a loud voice here. Sorry, sorry. And
No
so,
problem.
thank you for the compliment, but I'm really still ashamed. But I can stop. So that's the reason that I put myself in this way to talk in English and say try to express
Well,
myself.
you
And
express yourself perfectly.
Yes,
So
stuff pretty well.
yeah,
I have a question. So how well do your prospects, people that are not your clients, or let me put it this way, your prospects and your clients, how well do they take the new Fernanda? Is like they go, oh, that's crazy. I'm out of here. Or do they trust you, or do they? I mean, how does it work?
it's a big challenge, Matt, because nowadays I have a course in Brazil about conscious contract, and a lot of lawyers came to me and try to change their practice. And when I talking about that, they think everything is nice, it's cool. So, but it's a challenge to me and challenge to my clients too,
Yeah.
because we are not our school. All the legal systems don't give us a tools to deal with human beings problems. So, as a traditional lawyer, someone tell me the problem, and I put their problems in a box, in a legal box. So it's easy. I need just to know the law. But when you need to put yourself in a service of the people, I don't know what's happened, because when I hear someone, I I really put myself in entirely way to try to help them, and most of the times the legal techniques don't help them.
Mm.
So, and the client expects to me a traditional posture. And so sometimes the clients feel very uncomfortable with my approach, because for treat them human problems, I needed them completely present here with me.
Yes.
I need then responsibility, protagonism. And so, and the kind of things that the clients don't expect when they come to a law firm. They want to tell the problem and expect that I am live that I am my behavior is like then father or mother. So your mother here now, you take care of your problem.
Right.
And the approach that I use, I want them as an adult, as responsible for their behavior, then attitudes. So it's a big challenge. And I think when I saw my practice nowadays, I think it's a kind of education for me and for my clients. All the things about education, and try to change the paradigm in a huge way.
Yeah.
Not in my relationship with my client, but a behavior as a human being.
So is it the case that you've had some people that got it right away and got into it and can be adults and your partner in doing this, and at the other extreme you have people that say, nope, nope, that's not me. I'm going to go to a real lawyer. You're not a real lawyer.
Yeah, and sometimes, of course, everybody that came to my office, they have some kind of pain, because they have a relationship that not working. As I working, my office is specialty in partnerships. So most of that clients has some experience that not was good, so they decided to hire me because they want a new approach, but they don't know about conscious contract. They don't know when I building a contract, I need them all the times with me. It's a process. And so they are with me in the table, and we are draw the contract together, because the legal part exists, but it's I put this in a finish, and every legal detail we discussing together. We need that to support this relationship, or we don't need that. So why this? I need this clause here. It's important, not as important. So it's a contract that you can see yourself. You can see your organization in. But for doing that, I need to know your relationship. So, and for do that, I need they with me all the time. We need to building a really process. I can say that it's a huge workshop with the client. And the end of this workshop, we have a contract. And sometimes we don't have, because I have more than 2, 3 experience that in the end of the process, the clients decide not to continue the relationship.
So what's the percentage of the people that say no and the people that say, oh, okay, I'll trust you? What's the percentage?
So the first time that's happened, I remember that I called in a hurry for Kim and Linda Alvarez, because I feel, wow, what I'm doing. Someone hired me to building a contract, a partnership, and then they decided the end of the process not being together, not building a firm anymore, an organization anymore. So I'm a witch of the contracts. So I feel very uncomfortable, because again, it's a new way to work to me too. So I need to make up my mind and realize that's not about to having a piece of paper in the end of the process. I'm working for that relationship. And what is the best? If in the end of the process, there is no alignment enough to support that partnership, it's better not doing that.
Better
Because
to not create something that isn't going to work.
yeah, because the most of the organization broken is not because economic stuff. It's about the relationship. So we need to, in this approach to conscious contract is about to really going deep in the relationship and then using the legal system to do this to do the support of that, because we live in a society that was support in a legal stuff. So we have a rule for everything. So okay, let's deal with that, but let's deal with that with conscious. So the conscious is to building a real relationship. I need to know about Jose. Jose needs to know about me. Because when you met someone and want to build something, we are in love with that person. It's a kind of illusion, because you never doing a business with the enemy. We're doing a business with a friend, uh, uh, with your parents, with someone in your family. So the most of the business, it's about relationship that is near you. So doing this unconsciously, just thinking about legal things, it's something very dangerous. And that's the reason that our society is so in disharmony, because you don't want to go in deep inside of us and brace our human beings. Because I'm a very nice person, but asking for my assistant if I'm nice all the time, I'm not. Today, I'm a little bit nervous because our meeting here, and I need to speak in English. So I'm not a good person this morning with her. So that's it. Let's see myself as I am. I'm nice, but I can be an evil person. So conscious contact is about that. To realize that we can't be everything, good or bad. There is no good people and bad people. There is no division.
As Jose put it, you can be an asshole, but you're not a nice person, right?
Yeah,
And he said that to me, and,
yeah.
but it's true. It's true. I can oftentimes be an asshole because that's what made me successful. That is my life, is being an asshole and being the dominant asshole. I'm a bigger asshole than you are, and therefore da da da. But I'm not a bad person. You know, I treat my kids nice and stuff like that. But yeah,
And you treat your friends nice and you treat your family nice. But when we are in a situation that triggers the old behaviors, we behave the old way.
yeah,
And so
That's it. It's a process, and now we get in touch with radical purpose, and that's the reason that I met Jose 3 years ago, because to know about that, know how the things can put myself in a precarious way. It's a very powerful tool to building a sustainable relationship. And so when I think on the radical purpose and all the things that we see together, and put this, and I using the profile of radical purpose with my clients, because it's a powerful self-knowledge tool to realize that is needs inside of us. Needs that if I know about these needs, I can take care of myself and communicate another the people that living with me, that married with me, that have a partnership, the way I am. and what is not good, not what is my lacks, what is my force. And so it's important to know about that, for because this is can building a sustainable relationship. I really trust on that. And so when I think about contract, and I think we contract all the time with everything, even when I think when I wake up, it's a kind of contract with myself. I go into my office, I go to the gym. Uh, Today I using that, doing that. It's a kind of deal that I need to do all the time. And so I need to know myself to to do a conscious deal with me. So let's doing that with other person, with other relationship we need to that we have. So
The,
this is
the thing I don't understand is that the conscious part is about, like you said, knowing the person, knowing yourself, knowing your relationships are very important and all that. The contract part is the box. You know, you put all the rules and stuff like that. And as I've always told people, not always, but for a long time, rules are made to be broken, to be bent first, and then bend all the way to breaking, and it's fine. It's fine. But not in a contract. In a contract, if I don't pay you enough, if you don't pay me enough, if I take your share, if I take my share, it's very specific. And so, how do you combine those two?
yeah, and that's I think the magic of the conscious contract is
Okay.
in the end of this process we building a map, a road. Actually, the contract within the conscious contract process is a map of the relationship. And the end of this process, we building together how we deal with the conflict, because the conflict is something that happening all the time.
Mhm.
It's part of adult life. I don't know why, but it's the way in this planet the adults grow up in the crisis, in the conflict. So knowing to each other and how we want to deal when the conflict appear. So we working with the reality that the conflict is part of the relationship all the time. So when I feel somehow, when you feel somehow, when you need to talking difficult things like I want to give up our business, I want to move for another country, or I don't want this anymore. How I can say that? How we can deal with that without broken, without being enemy, without going to the court to
Yes.
judge said to us that I need to pay you a lot of money for that because I feel hurt, and so I want to recompensate myself with money. And I can say here that we don't use in the conscious contract money and clause that we can using money to deal with the things. We can do that, but when we start this process, we know that we are going to using that and why we decide to using that. It's important for the relationship. Okay, it works for you. Okay, because again, as a lawyer, I don't want doing contracts that's like me, Fernanda Guerra. It's not about myself. It's about them. And sometimes I saw that contract and I think, I want they going more deep and maybe not using that, but it's not about me. I can use my force to building a contract in a way that people can deal with that.
Yes.
So, and that in thinking about your first question to me, again, it's very difficult. It's a other challenge, because if I don't pay attention to myself, I colonizate all the relationship that came to me,
Yes.
to using the tools that just fit on me. And then it's not about that.
Right.
There's a couple of things. We're going to run out of time in a little bit here, and I wanted to get what you just said a little bit more clear in my mind. It sounds like you said it's about the relationships, and of course we need to deal with the numbers, but the numbers are used to describe what is going to happen, not as a way to use force on each other.
Mhm.
That the relationship is what we use to decide how we're going to work with one another, to decide how we're going to organize ourselves. The numbers are an incident of that relationship, not the reason for the relationship. Is
Yeah.
that true?
Yes, completely true. And another thing that maybe it's not be clear. So it's very common when you're talking about relationship, even we deal with contract, marriage contract, nuptial contract. The people love to use a kind of, I don't know this in English, sorry.
Said in
Diz em português.
Portuguese.
Ok, cláusulas penais, multas,
Okay, punitive clauses.
punitive clauses in using money to punish people. That's it. We can using that if it's something that talking with that relationship, and of course, as a lawyer, I talking very carefully about that and try to raise a conscience about that. But if that relationship wants to use that, okay, because as I told, I'm not here to colonize my clients, to say that it's not good things. Of course, for me, Fernanda, I can using this because not something worth it to me. I don't want to using that in my partnership with my colleagues in my law firm. I don't use that in my relationship with my husband. But it's about me, Fernanda. And sometimes I use that because it's another question that I heard a lot. So because it's a conscious contract, we don't using punish, we don't using this kind of clause. I can using all kind of clause, but the people that involve in this partnership needs to know why use that and if it's worth it. It's in this way that you want to be engaging in your relationship, align in your relationship using punishment. If they think it is, okay. But I need to ask if it's worth it for them.
So how do they find out?
Sometimes they look at me like she's a strange lawyer. And why I'm with this woman, because it's tough to know yourself. It's a process that sometimes the client be uncomfortable. It's not easy, but it's about life is not easy. Nobody said that it is easy. And it's a kind of tough that you choose. I prefer something tough that put my way, I can put my way in an authentically way.
But
Then,
how does the client find out that if it comes to a breakup of some sort, that I'm going to use money as a way to punish that person? And think about it, money is force. Money is force in a nice coin like that, right? So when I demand money from you in order to break the relationship, what I'm doing is taking power away from you. I'm taking the power away and leaving you with less power, but the relationship, so that's the trade-off. You keep the firm, but I get your power. you know, like Samson and the hair. I shouldn't talk about hair, but anyways. Um, and so in this situation, a nuptial kind of thing, um, how do I find out that if it comes to that extreme, that I'm going to punish my life by taking that power away from her, and she can keep the kids or the house or whatever it is. How do I find out?
So that's the point. Money and sex in the relationship they are in the superfice of the relationship.
Sure.
And and in this process, we are going to know about what is inside of that, why I need to use money, what is hurt inside of me that I want to use money to compensate something that happened. So that's the point. It's not about money, because money is a force, but money is a paper, it's a metal. I don't care about that. I need to know what is money to you. What is the value that you put in money? That's that is the point. That is the reason that take care of the relationship in the beginning of building conscious contract is important, because I will know what is your value as a person, what is your purpose as a person. And so in this way, I will know what is money for you. So and I know for you money is a very, very high value, and maybe you are going to using that to punish me in somehow, and then you needed to discussing this. And that's the things that I really love at doing that, because I never know what is happening during this process, because I don't know what is important to you, and sometimes I'm completely in it's like a big surprise all the time. But again, I'm not judge my clients and their values, but I know I want that they know about their values and why they do that, because they do that because there is a value to support that. And I want that he said for his partnership, that I know they know to each other, not from the strategic that they're using in the real life, but the values that they want to take care when they're using money or not using money. Because I'm not using money because I want to take care of values, my self values. That's the point. Not because I'm a cute person and because I don't like money, but using money to punish the people that have a relationship with me hurt me more than use, and hurt me because I really want deep relationship all the time. I want to be I want partnership that I feel comfortable. I like intimacy. So money is not something that talking with me. That's the reason that I never using money to punish my relationship. And so it's not about money again. It's about values that I have.
Yes.
Fernanda, I have I think maybe the last question here. Um, when we talk about radical, we talk a lot about fiat system and force inside that system. And you've talked a lot about force already, as have we, in this conversation. But I want to, how much do you talk to your clients, and just in your worldview now, how much do you introduce the idea of force, and how much do you talk about the fiat system as a part of their conscious awareness of where they're coming from and why they're doing the things they're doing? Is that something that you discuss?
Yeah, because in my first meeting with that, then I need to say that we are going through another mindset to see the things, because you don't want to do anything. You can do whatever you want, and all the things that you're thinking about relationship, that things that you need to do because there is a law that force you to do, is not in this how. So we have a lot of liberty to freedom, sorry, a lot of freedom to contract, and we can do a lot of things. So let's first time for first know about that relationship, know about what you want, your values, your purpose, and then if something that you want uh, is not allowed by the law, I will say so. But I really want to introduce them in a space, in a safe space, that they can do that they can say everything and building everything. And then the last, I will say, oh, here you can do that. We need to change a little bit this way, because in the real life, in the life that we choose here, we have this and these rules, but never in a verse. Because when I saw the most of the contracts, they try to put relationship in a box of the law, and the conscious contract is in a verse. The law needs to fit this relationship, because a relationship is a phenomenologistic way stuff.
There's a comment here from Jennifer Johnson, and she puts it pretty well. She says, you want your clients to identify their values, and that they are present and not invisible. So you make their values visible, and say, yeah, I want to punish this person if she sleeps with somebody else or something. And that's what drives the process, not the other way around. So that's a good comment. And another comment here that I don't know how to quite to interpret. It says building contracts that support relationships are necessary right now, and it's not contracts that support relationships. It's contracts that reflect relationships, the values of the people involved, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's the relationship support everything, and then contracting somehow. When we think the relationship, if the conscious contract, it's a way to support, because I can see the contract as a map road. So
Yes.
How is our map road?
Roadmap.
Roadmap. That's it. That's it. This contract's alive, and when the clients build the conscious contract with me, they can change some clauses, and not. And it's another thing that I like a lot, because they doing that. They can recognize themselves in that, so they can change some things. That's not because a contract that I did with Jose 3 years ago, it's not represent us anymore 3 years later. So in some stuffs, we can change the clauses. We can change this part of relationship. We can change a lot of things, and that's the magic of this kind of contract. I can recognize myself, our relationship, and we can change some things inside of.
So how can we make that part a mainstream part of contracts? I mean, I took the course with Kim a while back, and I realized that it was a relationship-based kind of thing, and then the law comes later to support it, and that's probably what this building contracts support relationships. mean. And but how? So when I tried to move it into our corporate contracts. The guy listened to me and he was very nice and said, Look, that was it. He didn't understand a word that I was saying. He wasn't interested. His thing was, we have to protect ourselves. You said something before. It's not a wall that we're building; it's a bridge. And he wasn't interested. Most lawyers are not interested in building a bridge.
Yeah,
They're building
I
a
know.
specific wall and a specific box. And if you don't fit in there, it's something wrong with you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's because it's a challenge. It's about changing, and it's not easy. And I heard this a lot. A lot of lawyers said to me that it's something that can work at. And okay, but I live this every day. It's work it. I think it's the future because this way, that the traditional way, it's not good. If it's good, we live in a peaceful place, and earth is everything but peaceful place. It's not. So just look at your window and you say that the tools that we use is not worth it and it's not support us anymore. So we need to invent something new, uh, and take care about ourselves, our relationship. This is the quality of our life is based on our relationship, not about the amount of money we have in the bank.
Yes.
So it's not something that I say. It's true. You can see it in the life. Every can feel that.
So
So for me, a relationship is the most important thing that I have in my life. So that's the reason that I'm working with that in this way, because I can working in another way, because it's hurt me a lot. It's about, again, it's about me too. I doing that because I think this is my medicine to me, and it's now I decide to put in the world.
so why you and why not the other lawyers that want to tell you, yeah, it's nice, but no, I don't want to. What's the difference?
Yeah, I respect. I respect because it's not easy to move yourself.
Right.
It's not easy to see yourself in a mirror. That's the point. It's not good. When I do that, it's not good.
So is
It's
that what you did? You saw yourself in the mirror, and when it hurts me, you said something that it hurts me part that you recognize. But what happened to you? Did you fall in your head, or what happened to you?
oh, we need another podcast talking about that. Because now it's good to hear that it's fine something nice, but it's not. So I take a lot of medicine. I see myself in a way that uh, I really I'm around 50 years old, so I don't know if I'm here if I continue in that way. That's the point. So it's my I don't change my life because I feel happy. It's something that's so painful that I need to do that to protect my life itself. That's the point.
I don't know if this is true for you, Fernanda, but for me, I don't feel that I changed my life. I feel that my life changed me.
That's it. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
My life forced me to change.
Yeah.
And I really believe that this my life put myself in some point to that this is the turning point that I say, wow, If I'm not changed, something very bad happened. So that's it.
I can see Carlos trying to quote me, but all I'm getting is a quote. Thank you, Carlos. But there is a quote that that happened yesterday in another meeting, which I found very interesting. We were talking about moving towards relationships, right? And moving away from the fiat system, moving away from the law being the problem, the this being the problem, all of those kinds of things. The problems are always external. And moving towards relationships. And someone said, it's about healing. And I think that the movement towards what you've described today, Fernanda, the movement towards conscious relationships, contracts too, but really it's the relationship first.
Yeah.
Contract is just a secondary piece. That is healing. And I think for me, the reason I do it is because it's healing. And I think that the more people like you that I talk to, the more I find out that what they're trying to do is not fix things. They're trying to heal for themselves. And in the process, they help fix things.
It is completely true, Jose. You resume everything that we're talking here. It's about healing. It's about our healing, and not try to fix nothing, because who am I to fix something? But that's the point. I think it is. And that's the reason that law, contract, it's a completely secondary thing, because it's something that it's outside. And outside it's not something that it's a big play, actually. So it's law, but can be medicine, can be math, can be chemical. It doesn't matter. This technique that I have, but it's because everything is about relationships, something inside, is about healing myself. And when I start to healing myself, a magic can happen, because your healing starting another healing that it's more than you. It's another vibration that you have, that healing other people, that touching other people to starting their healings. And so
it's a snowball.
It's a snowball. And so here I want to say a healing to myself, and then putting this seeds in other people. Yes. To starting their healing process, not my healing process, not follow my healing process, following your healing process.
Their healing process, yes. One thing that gives me hope is that I read in the Washington Post, I think yesterday, that people are no longer defining professional growth as more money or promotions or anything like that. It says instead clients come to them seeking more different things: the autonomy, passion, and a sense of purpose. They want to go to bed at night feeling that they've made a difference. And so, as I often tell, I said maybe too much, is that the change is going to happen, whether we like it or not. But what we're trying to do is accelerate it a little bit, give us some foundation and stuff so that it doesn't go all over the place. But we don't know what's coming. We have no idea what's coming. Mm-hmm. But the change is going to happen. It's just, let's direct it a little bit. So I think what you're doing is fantastic. And I think you fell in your head. That's all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
The 15 you
Thank
want.
you. Fernanda, it's been an absolute pleasure. It always is.
Oh,
And thank you so much for joining us. The work you're doing, the work that your community and the law space are doing, without you guys, I don't think a lot of the changes that need to happen will happen. And
Yes.
so you guys are instrumental in driving change in the way that that all of us need to be able to do. So thank you to you and to your colleagues within the law space and the work that you guys are doing to change law, but also to change people's view of the world.
thank you, Jose. That's it. There are a lot of stuff building everything that we need to change. So we need to touch the lawyers because there is a lot of power involved in that.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Matt, do you want to introduce?
So next week, we're going to be talking to Jennifer Johnson, who was one of the people making comments here. And Jennifer is a very interesting person. We've talked to her before, and we're going to continue the conversation. She's the founder of StoryMind. And we don't know exactly what we're going to be talking about, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. So looking forward to that. And thank you, Fernanda, for everything, for being here, for being part of it, and for delivering such good English in the process. No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Ai, you are very
Muito obrigado.
Muito obrigada. Bye.